First of all, let me say good after late afternoon. Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today. I just want to make clear, first of all, that I do not have the AIDS disease, because I know a lot of you want to know that, but the HIV virus. My wife is fine. She's negative, so no problem with her. I plan on going on, living for a long time, bugging you guys like I've always have. So you'll see me around. I plan on being with the Lakers in the league. Hopefully David will have me for a while. And going on with my life. And I guess now I get to enjoy some of the other sides of living, that because of the season and the long practices and so on. I just want to say that I'm going to miss playing, and I will now become a spokesman for the HIV virus, because I want people and young people to realize that they can practice safe sex. And you know, sometimes you're a little naive about it and you think it could never happen to you. You only thought it could happen to, you know, other people and so on and on. And it has happened, but I'm going to deal with it, and my life will go on. And I will be here enjoying the Laker games and all the other NBA games around the country. So life is going to go on for me, and I'm going to be a happy man. Now, medical questions that you have to direct them to Dr. Melman, and he can answer all those questions for you. Anything concerning the Lakers and so on, we have Jerry West here, I'm sure. Of course, the league, you have our commissioner, who I want to thank. I want to thank everybody up here, as well as my teammates, because they've been behind me all the way. I want to thank Kareem for coming out, him and Coop, who we stood side by side and won a lot of battles. Larry Drew, another good friend of mine who I played with. But the commissioner, David Stern, has been great in supporting me, and I will go on and hopefully work with the league and help in any way that I can. I want to thank also Jerry West for all he's done, Dr. Curlin, Dr. Melman, who he'll tell you who my other doctors are that have helped me through this, as well as, like I said, my father, in a sense, Dr. Jerry Butts, for, you know, just drafting me and me being here. Now, of course, I will miss the battles and the wars, and I will miss you guys, but life goes on. Now, any other questions medical-wise, you can ask, like I said, Dr. Melman, anything with the Lakers, Jerry West, or anything with the league. If I take a few questions about myself and my plan.
Can you describe for us, this has been your life, Michigan State, the Lakers, emotionally for you right now, knowing that this part of your life is over, how do you deal with it, and how do you deal with mortality, which becomes more apparent with this virus?
Well, I think mortality is I always wanted to be, after it was over, just live a normal life anyway. And, you know, now my life will change, no question about it, but I think I'll still be a part of the game with working with the Lakers, working with the league, and as I do that, then I hopefully still own a team. Basketball will still be a part of my life. I told Coop and Kareem, both of them, a while ago, that I'll be calling them to play them one-on-one, and we'll have some fun that way. I just won't be a part of the Lakers.
Can you give us a special message over your biggest fans, the kids?
Well, no question. For the kids, that's why I am going to be a spokesman for this HIV virus, because I want them to understand that safe sex is the way to go. I think sometimes we think, well, only gay people can get it, only, well, it's not going to happen to me. And here I am saying that it can happen to anybody, even me, Magic Johnson, it can happen to. So, yes, I will be going out telling them. I'll be speaking more to a lot of groups around the country about this.
When did you know? When did you know?
Well, Wednesday, so that's yesterday.
Any idea on how you acquired the virus?
No, we'll get into that medically through the doctors, okay?
How do you feel physically right now?
I feel really good. I feel great. A part of my life is gone, but my wife is healthy. That's great. and we're going to go on.
What are your immediate plans? You going to stay with the Lakers?
We're going to talk about that. Dr. Buster said if I want to stay, I can stay. I'll talk to Commissioner Stern here, and hopefully I'll be with the league too. But those plans I don't know right now. It's going to take some time, just see which way I want to go. I will be still pursuing my dream of owning a team, that's for sure. And
when did you take the test and are all NBA players supposed to take it?
well, I took the test only because of a life insurance policy, and that's what happened. And they kind of thought something was wrong. They didn't know quite what it was, so that's why we've been going through all these tests. And then finally yesterday, I can't remember the exact date, but
None of this was looked at before because you talked about having the flu and all the other tests that you
Right. They didn't find anything as far as anything in terms of the flu or anything wrong, but they just kept testing, you see. And
new life insurance policy.
right.
Have you had a chance to talk to your colleagues like Larry Bird?
Yeah, Larry called. I made sure that I called Larry, Michael, Isaiah, the guys who I'm close with, as well as my old teammates and my current teammates. And I talked to Coach Riley, a lot of people I've talked to already, just to let them know.
How do you assess the Hollywood and celebrity community and their response to AIDS?
Well, I think that everybody will be more careful. That's what I want to preach, and for everybody to understand that they just have to be more careful.
Do you have something to say to your fans?
Well, I'm going to miss them. I'm going to miss coming in at 5 o'clock. I'm going to miss saying hello to the security people when I first get there, then the ushers. Then I get to see most of you about 6 o'clock. Oh, man. Magic, what about this? What about that? What about the team? I'll miss that. I'll miss the battles and the wars. But most of all, what I'll miss is the camaraderie that I had with the guys, being one of the fellas.
Have you ever been tested before?
Well, we've been tested, and it was negative before, so, you know. But let me say this. My mom and dad is fine. They're very supportive. My whole family. Just like I want everybody to be. This is not like my life is over, because it's not. I'm going to live on. Everything is still the same. I can work out. Now, I just be like one of the old timers in a sense,
What about the Olympics team?
Yeah, my strength is fine. I can work out and do everything a normal person can do. I just have to, take medication and go from there. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
As a human emotion, this is such a tough illness to deal with, or even virus. Are you scared right now?
No. If I was, what you have to do is it's another challenge, another chapter in my life that it's like being, your back is against the wall. And I think that you just have to come out swinging, and I'm swinging. Only thing I can do is have a bright side. If I slip, then it might be over. If I'm down, if it's out, I can't be like that. I never have been. That's why I'm telling you now, today. That's why I'm here right now. And that's why I'm going to be a spokesman for the virus, because I want other players to be tested, because I think they should, because a lot of people, if it hadn't been for that life insurance, I wouldn't have known. And just the everyday person, the same thing. And that's why I'm going to be a spokesman for it, because I think a lot of people should test themselves and know. Also practice safe sex, the whole thing. Now, I'm going to go and let the doctors or whoever else you want to have questions for. I've appreciated all of you. Mitch, we go way back. Jim, Stu Nahan, all the people that when I first came in as a rookie gave me all the good advice and helped me out, and I really appreciate that. Now you just have me on a different side now. You may be interviewing me in like Dr. Buss's office, so as soon as he move out, I'm going to move in. But I am going to go on, I'm going to beat it, and I'm going to have fun. Okay, so thank you again, and I'll see you soon.
Are there any questions for Dr. Melman?
Can you explain what exactly has happened to Johnson and how it affects his life?
Irvin Johnson has been infected with the HIV virus. He does not have AIDS. The HIV virus is something that over years can and does impair an individual's immune system, which is what we all have to defend against other illnesses. So there's no immediate effect on his life other than we have advised him to avoid those activities which can further impair his immune system, which is playing professional basketball. He is not, contrary to what has been stated, he is not and does not have AIDS.
Will he play in the Olympics, doctor?
The issue is very straightforward. Irvin Johnson has been infected with the AIDS virus. He is not ill in any way. ARC or ARC, which some people have heard of, is simply a continuum from the viral infection to illnesses that occur later on. He does not have that.
Now, doctor, how does HIV exacerbate the condition? Explain that.
Well, the rigors of playing professional basketball, to include significant exhaustion on a regular basis, alterations of normal dietary and activity habits may impair an individual's immune system. And since this disease also does that, the medical judgment is for Irvin to not continue that. That is not normal activity that we describe in the everyday person. Very few of us go through what he goes through in the course of a basketball season, and that's the best I can say at this point.
What is the prognosis, doctor? What is the prognosis for complete recovery from this virus?
The timeline of AIDS virus infection to further problems is now being described. Some people last a decade or longer before they get ill. Some people get ill very quickly. We have Irvin at one point in time in a very healthy state. There is no way to give you a prognosis that is accurate at this point other than to say that he is healthy now, we expect him to remain healthy, and we expect to have him around for a long time.
Can't play in the Olympic Games, right?
That's up to him.
What is the medical?
The issue of treatment is being examined at this point. There are a number of people that will be involved that will help decide that, and I suspect that will be known in the future.
What type of medication?
That is treatment.
What type of medication?
There are a number of medications available that can be used to treat the AIDS virus infection. In fact, we have Dr. Hayes from UCLA at the far left, and I think she is more qualified to address those issues if you'd like. And Dr. Hayes, if you had something you'd like to say.
Well, I have no knowledge of the kind of medication that Mr. Johnson is taking, but right at the present time in the treatment of HIV disease, the medications that we have are very important in prolonging life and making quality of life better. And at a stage when someone is HIV positive, at a certain stage, depending on other parameters that are measured, we can provide treatment that's helpful. I don't know enough about Mr. Johnson's clinical case because Dr. Melman is his physician, but so I don't know whether he will be taking any medication, but I can say for someone who's HIV positive, like Mr. Johnson, and there is a lot of options for treatment and help to prolong life.
Dr. Melman, has Magic authorized you to discuss how he contracted the disease?
No. Yeah, the answer is that I don't believe we know at this point specifically.
Dr. Melman, why is it released that he had the flu and obviously
He wasn't feeling well, and we were trying to investigate the situation. A lot of times in trying to define the medical status of an individual, we are not able to know by looking at them what is going on or what is the situation at hand. That delves more into his personal health, which I don't think is something that I'd like to discuss in a public forum.
in your case of HIV, just don't go into full-blown AIDS, right? I mean, people can live with it for a while, right?
Dr. Hayes?
That's absolutely right. There are cases of HIV that go for many, many years before developing the symptoms of AIDS, and we don't really know how many years any individual can go once they become HIV positive. That isn't known and one can't predict.
But eventually they do develop symptoms.
We can't even say that because everyone who's HIV positive hasn't been followed long enough to know whether they eventually develop the symptoms, and we hope with the therapies that are available now, we may be able to very greatly prolong the development of those symptoms.
Is he on medication now?
He is not now on medication.
Have you considered ACP or DDI?
We will be discussing that with him in the future.
Could you speculate on the impact that somebody coming forward like Magic Johnson and saying he has HIV could have on the public perception of the disease?
I think what we have witnessed today is a courageous act by a very special man. He is not compelled by any legal descriptions or legal requirements to disclose what he has disclosed today. He is not a person who is invisible, and because of his presence, because of his potential impact on society, with a situation that is not only serious but for which we are all at risk, I think that he should not only be commended but held as a modern-day hero. And I hope that we, in our activities and the impact that it has on us, reflect that. This is a very, very special person and a very, very special admission.
I'd like to echo the doctor's statement on that. When Magic understood that he was HIV positive, this was something he very much wanted to do in terms of going public with it, because of all of the work he's done with kids, because of all of the work he's done with the community, and he asked for the support of his teammates, the Lakers, and the league. And I think what the doctor has said is true. Everybody said this is a very courageous, heroic person and a heroic act, and we all pledged our support to him in his effort to go out and work, especially amongst kids, in detailing, what has to be done and what precautions should be taken.
Dr. Melvin, where and when was the test administered, and where and when did you tell him that he was HIV?
I prefer not to comment on those issues.
You can't tell us when? It was yesterday? That he found out? He said it was yesterday?
He's already described when he found out the final results, which was yesterday, and I think that's enough.
Can't tell us all the tests?
I have no further comments on that topic.
Can you tell me what this is going to mean to the NBA?
Really, I think what this means to the NBA is that another one of our really idols and attention getters has indicated that he's human. Something has happened to him which can happen to anybody. Everybody is at risk. And by invoking the NBA and his teammates and all players to deliver the messages that Magic is intent on delivering, I think that we can find something positive out of a very terrible situation.
Commissioner, do all teams test for AIDS, or would you like to see that?
No, Magic was tested in connection with an insurance policy. All matters of testing are a subject to be discussed between the NBA and its Players Association, and that's the way we deal with that, and that's the way we'll deal with this subject. But for today, the emphasis is on Irvin Johnson.
Dr. Melvin, was this discovered by the life insurance test or by the test you did in connection with his latest illness?
The initial concern was as a result of tests performed as part of a life insurance policy, and then further studies and confirmation were performed by myself and with Irvin's consent.
Without explaining his life, can you give us just a time frame of that? When was the first test come back from the insurance company?
I honestly don't know the date of that. I don't.
Roughly.
It's been over the last couple of weeks.
Dr. Melvin said he was suffering from fatigue. What the symptoms were? What complaints he may have had before the test?
I think in general he was just tired and not feeling well, and I don't want anyone to take away from that he is ill in any way, that it was not part of what we ultimately discovered. That was something coincidental.
Dr. Melvin, what impact will this have on his participation in the Olympics? Has that been discussed?
That was asked earlier, and I think the issue is that Irvin Johnson has not been advised to play professional basketball, and I think that the level of competition and participation in the Olympics is similar to that. And so I think that those are parallel concerns and restrictions that we would offer.
As you are the announcement today,
That's something we'll discuss with our Players Association. All that we're worried about today is Magic Johnson and the support he's asked us to give him.
Jerry West, what does this mean for the Lakers roster?
Well, obviously, this comes as a huge shock to us. I think when you're trying to find out the condition of a player, obviously you assume that player is going to be back. And to be real candid with you, I haven't even thought about it. Obviously, it's devastating for us from a personnel standpoint. And I think particularly emotionally, for a lot of us, it's a very difficult thing.
Okay, everybody, thank you very much.
And so Magic Johnson's doctors and his coaches and those who know him adding their comments to this thing.
He created situations which had never been imagined and was a champion at every level of play. In the NBA, Johnson was the league's most valuable player 3 times. He led the Lakers to 5 titles after they had gone without one since the Wilt Chamberlain era. Johnson passed Oscar Robertson for the all-time NBA assist lead just last season. That he played all 5 positions in the clinching game of the NBA Finals back in his rookie season was a signal that he was ushering in a new era. Guard quick, forward big, center dominant, Magic Johnson was a one-of-a-kind player with a personality to match. Bob Lee looks back at the career of a man who lit up every arena he visited.
A telegenic smile and a fistful of championship rings graced this rare athlete. Irvin Johnson was the singular cornerstone for the NBA's meteoric ascent from sports league to international industry, the personification of both the joy of the schoolyard game and its stratospheric success.
Unfortunately, you look around and see all these things happening and ending for everybody else, and then you say, whoa, it's right around the corner for yourself. And you have to prepare for that. And I can prepare for my career after basketball, but I don't think anybody can prepare for the end. Next year I will be attending Michigan State University.
Johnson already had his nickname as a 19-year-old Michigan State sophomore when he met Larry Bird in the NCAA title game, 1979. It still ranks as the highest-rated college telecast, a game credited for fast-breaking basketball into the 80s. 14 months later, the Fates and Magic skills again brought him an historical opportunity, Game 6 of the 1980 NBA Finals. As a rookie point guard, he played center. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was injured. Magic scored 42 points. He was the playoff MVP. The Lakers began the 80s with a title. Showtime was born.
How many more of these would you like to get under your belt?
About 20.
The Lakers became a dynasty, a fixture in the NBA Finals. Magic Johnson, their quarterback, 5 NBA titles. Kareem, the nominal captain, but the man they called Buck set the pace with his unnatural passing, his clutch shots, and the biggest intangible, his leadership.
He knows I made the right decision. Coop, I won't be there when I turn to my left or my right, and you won't be there. But I told him, I said, E, if you ever fall, I'll be there. And I know Magic won't fall, but I'll be his best friend always.
3 times the league's most valuable player, most recently 2 seasons ago, the only 3-time playoff MVP. The triple-double became his personal domain, double digits in points, rebounds, and assists. His rivalry with Bird, born in college, matured through the 80s into the sport's magnificent matchup. Once distant rivals, they became friends.
He plays the game like I like it to be played.
Is that why you finally became friends with him?
No, I don't think so. I think just getting to know him.
Last June's NBA championship was billed as a passing of the torch from Magic to Michael Jordan as the game's marquee figure. Johnson last year postponed marriage to his longtime girlfriend Cookie. They were finally married last summer. In a league replete with millionaires and egos to match, Magic Johnson is known for his good humor and cooperation. For the last 6 summers, his Midsummer Night's Magic, benefiting the United Negro College Fund, has brought together the game's greatest names. Magic's place in the Springfield Hall of Fame was assured long ago. The final grace mark on his remarkable career came 7 months ago, passing Oscar Robertson as the game's assist king.
If you're listening, Dad, I just want to thank you and tell you that I love you so much. And to Mom, thank you too. And the last but not least, thank you, fans, for coming out every night and supporting me.
Now Urban Magic Johnson, like over 1 million other